Snapdragon 4 and 6 series. Snapdragon 4 and 6 series are Qualcomm's entry-level and budget processors, built for basic phone tasks. If you just want to browse social media, watch YouTube, and reply to messages, these chips do the job perfectly. You can play light games on them, but if you try to run a heavy modern game on high settings, you are going to experience lagging and frame drops. What makes these chips great is that they are highly power efficient and cheap. Snapdragon 7 series. Snapdragon 7 is the mid-tier processor, and it is the sweet spot for a lot of people. It bridges the gap between budget and premium. Phones with a Snapdragon 7 series chip can handle photo editing, 4K video recording, and smooth gaming at 60 frames per second. But just a side note for you. A newer tier processor doesn't always mean it's faster if you compare different generations. For example, if you buy a mid-range phone today with a new Snapdragon 7 chip, it will actually outperform a flagship phone running an older Snapdragon 8 chip from 3 years ago. You will also notice suffixes like Gen 1, Genesis 2, or Genesis 3. This simply tells you the generation. The higher the number, the newer and faster the chip. Sometimes you will see an S or a plus at the end. The S means it is a slightly scaled down, cheaper version, while the plus means it is an overclocked, slightly faster version. Snapdragon 8 series and 8 Elite. Snapdragon 8 is Qualcomm's flagship tier, built for heavy gamers and tech enthusiasts. If you are buying a top-tier Android phone from Samsung, OnePlus, or Xiaomi, this is usually what is inside. It handles maxed-out graphics in heavy AAA mobile games, complex video rendering, and supports the most advanced camera sensors. Recently, Qualcomm introduced the Elite naming convention, like the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This means the chip uses custom-built CPU cores for extreme performance, reaching desktop-level speeds. But because these chips push so much power, they generate more heat, which is why high-end gaming phones often require large internal cooling chambers to keep the processor from throttling. MediaTek Helio. MediaTek Helio is an ultra-budget processor line. You mostly find Helio chips in very cheap entry-level phones or tablets. They are built on older technology and usually do not support 5G. They are fine for making calls and using basic apps, but if you try to multitask heavily, the system will slow down. It is very similar to Intel's old Celeron chips, cheap and functional, but not meant for heavy lifting. MediaTek Dimensity 6000 and 7000 series. This is MediaTek's modern budget and lower mid-range lineup. The biggest upgrade over the Helio series is that Dimensity chips come with built-in 5G. They offer excellent price to performance. A lot of phone brands use these chips because they allow them to sell a fast, 5G-capable phone at a much lower price point than if they used a comparable Snapdragon chip. MediaTek Dimensity 8000 and 9000 series. The Dimensity 8000 and 9000 series are MediaTek's high-end and flagship processors, designed to directly compete with the Snapdragon 8 series. Chips like the flagship Dimensity 9400 use a unique architecture, where they pack in only high-performance big cores, skipping the smaller efficiency cores entirely. This gives them massive multi-core performance for heavy workloads. For years, people defaulted to Snapdragon for high-end phones. But lately, Dimensity flagship chips have been matching or even beating Snapdragon in benchmarks, while often offering better pricing. Apple A series, A18, and A18 Pro. Apple's A series chips are custom-built exclusively for iPhones. What makes Apple processors so powerful isn't just the raw hardware. It is because Apple designs both the chip and the iOS software, meaning they are perfectly optimized for each other. The standard A18 chip goes into the base iPhones, but Apple also makes Pro variants, like the A18 Pro. The Pro versions usually feature an extra GPU core for better graphics, and dedicated hardware for faster video rendering and advanced camera processing, like shooting in Apple ProRes. It is built for content creators who actually use their phone as a professional camera rig. Google Tensor. Google Tensor is a completely different approach to smartphone processors. Found exclusively in Pixel phones, Like the Pixel 10's Tensor G5, this chip does not focus on having the highest raw gaming benchmarks. Instead, Google focuses heavily on the TPU, or Tensor Processing Unit. The TPU is a chip dedicated entirely to artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is why Pixel phones can do things like instantly translate phone calls in real time, unblur old photos, or generate AI content directly on the device without needing the cloud. If you are a hardcore mobile gamer, the Tensor chip isn't for you. But if you want a phone that acts as a smart assistant with incredible computational photography, this is what the Tensor is built for. Samsung Exynos. Samsung Exynos chips are built in-house by Samsung. They have mid-range versions, like the 1400 series, and flagship versions, like the 2400 and 2500 series. Exynos has a somewhat controversial reputation in the tech community. For a long time, Samsung would sell their Galaxy S phones with a Snapdragon chip in the US, but give the rest of the world the Exynos version. Users noticed that older Exynos versions sometimes ran hotter and had slightly worse battery life than the exact same phone with a Snapdragon chip. While Samsung has improved Exynos significantly in recent years, making them highly capable flagship processors, many tech enthusiasts still actively look for the Snapdragon variants when buying a Samsung phone.